Welcome back, and if you are a subscriber to this channel, first of all, thank you very much. We've passed 40,000 now, and if you're one of those 40,000 who watches my videos, you will know the story behind this little Porsche Boxster and how it triumphantly and with flying colours sailed through its MOT test in the last video, which now means it's safe to drive on the road. All the lights work, all the brakes work, the tyres are good, passes the emissions, no cracks in the windscreen, screen wash works, all that good stuff is tested, and we can drive it. What the MOT test doesn't cover is other little things that might go wrong with the car that don't make it a safety hazard on the road. So as I was driving home for the MOT test, it was raining to the top up, and I noticed when I got home that in particular this passenger door, down at the bottom where the lining is, it was damp and it was wet. And the door sill was kind of condensation-y and wet. Checked the driver's door, and it was a wee bit damp and wet as well, just a tiny wee bit. There was no water in the passenger footwell. In the first video that we did in this car, the second video, I can't remember, we cleared out all 4 drains in the cowl area, and we also cleared out the drains down here. So the main drains for the car, because it's a convertible on this side, are clear. These are clear, but the doors have drains as well, you see. They're clear because I've checked them. So what I think this could be is there's usually a membrane in the doors that prevents water from inside the door. It's supposed to go down through the drain, getting into the car. I suspect they've failed. So what I'm going to do in this video is take a look at this door and see if I'm right and see what I can do to fix it, because it should only be a 10-minute fix if it's what I think it is. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Alright, so what I'm saying is this bit here, where it's kind of carpeted, is still a bit damp, and it was kind of condensating here, if that's the word, and it was a little bit pulling in here, so it wasn't getting over this compartment here. It's coming in here, and I can see the water residue here, and that lines up totally with this bit here where it's damp. So I suspect, but based on just a guess here, the water that's going down here from the window is coming down here. It's supposed to go out a drain at the bottom here, which I'll try and show you now. Hold on. So underneath here, well, they're not drains, but underneath this rubber seal here, there's a little tiny slit which acts as a drain hole, and the water that gets into the door is supposed to pull into there and drip down in there. I suspect that the membrane behind here has failed, and it's going down the membrane, and instead of getting into the centre of the door, it's dripping down here, dripping onto here and pulling into here. It's a similar story across to the driver's side. So the first job is to take off this door panel, which is a bunch of clips, bunch of screws, pulling things off. So let's do that. Taking off the door panel. Now let me just see here. I'm guessing it'll be, this bit will need to come off first, I suppose. There we are. Oh, I think someone said I go at repairing that panel in the past, but anyway, that's that bit off. And then usually, oh, that piece there. Screw in there. Right, I don't know if this comes off, this little airbag cover here thing, but usually these things are just little push fits. So they are. Is there anything in there? I'll ratchet these off. Is there one in here as well? Ah, there's also a clip in here, which is a Phillips head. That's okay, that's okay. Dear dear, how long is this one? Remember, that size of one is at the top. You remember that for me, okay? I tend to forget these things. Take 10 screws out and you end up putting 8 back in thinking you're done. What kind of length is this one here? Wow. Goodness sake. Wow. Big one goes in the door handle. You remember that for me, would you? Thank you. And we've got a wee Phillips head in here. There we go. That goes in there. There was one in there, but there's nothing. Is that? Oh! Handle just pops out. I wonder if that's actually it. We'll have to go around the bottom and unpop it. Ah, that does pop off. And there, and I bet there's a little screw. Is there something there? Yeah, it's another. Ooh, it's an Allen bolt. So I don't know if that's, strictly speaking, correct, because you would kind of think all the bolts or the screws would be the same fitting. Anyway, wouldn't be the first time I've put something back in using a different fitting. Right, so sure that's everything now. I should just be able to pop this panel right off. There we are, starting to hear the good noises now, eh? There we go. That's us. And of course I've bought all new clips before I do this, haven't I? No, absolutely not. What an idiot, eh? What an idiot. We'll get this snake need to come out, whatever that is. There we are. And we'll have a couple of things to take off here. This will be the, oh goodness, light. This one. Right, hold on. Let's see if my suspicion is true here. So, it's a kind of weird bit there, isn't it? This membrane here is what separates the back of the door, or the door I should say, from water getting from behind it here into the car. And aha, so water was coming in here, I could tell, because it was kind of got a damp residue that I haven't cleaned off deliberately. And if I look along the door to about here, we have a hole. And I can actually feel water sitting behind that. So it's solid up until that point, and there's no drips coming from anywhere else, but my finger, I can feel the dampness on the underside of that. So water could be coming in from the other side of the window, obviously, dripping down here, getting onto this membrane, dripping all the way down there, and it should drip down into the channel. Here's a channel in here, and the water comes out down the bottom of the door. But if that's got a gap in it, the water could easily just trickle down there and drip into there, wetting the carpet, which that bit there is damp with the door card. I can feel it here, that's soaking wet, and it's right in line with this hole. So all I need to do is reseal that with some silicone sealant or some 3M tape or something, and we should be good to go after that. Can actually see a bit of damp up here. Wonder if that was just me maybe opening the door wrongly. But the rest of it, the actual membrane looks in decent condition. It looks okay. There is a bit of wet here actually. What's going on here? That could just have been me opening the door and getting drips from the window or something like that, but usually you can tell if something's been dripping because you won't get that dry dirt as damp, so I'm pretty convinced if I seal that up we'll solve our little leak problem. Look, danger, airbag. Alright, so I've just taken this off a bit here, and I'll show you, take a wee bit more off. In here, this channel here, is where water rests, right? So you see that? There's the window regulator there, actually, or whatever you want to call it, the window frame. So, right, have a look in there, right? So there's part of the window regulator, and down in here, that little channel at the back there, down there, is where water goes and drips down. But the back of this can get wet as well. And if there's a gap like there is here in the glue, and the glue's come off, then chances are the water will drip down here, like it's doing there. Look there, there's a wee drippy, right? It will drip down here, get past the seal that this makes, and go right onto this car, into your car. So that's not great. So two options I've got in the garage here to fix this is we use some 3M tape and we put that round where the sealant was failing, or we use the stronger stuff, which is butyl, which is this here. This might be, I don't know if it'll be too thick for that, but I don't know. I might just try the 3M tape first, see what kind of seal I get with that, and if that sticks it, we'll use 3M. And all I'm going to do is unravel this, stick it along the edge of the seal here, press it down and see if it holds. The butyl is good, but it's quite thick, and I just don't know if the push fit pins will be too thick for this to go on flush. Don't know. Try this first. This usually does the trick on most stuff. Let's give it a shot. 3M tape. Right, there we go. So just put this as far along as I can go until it kind of is still sticky. We'll overlap it a bit, and it's going up just towards this corner here. Now, belt and braces approach. I could get some silicone and put it around these little holes, but I do suspect highly that the bit that was failing was up here. This should be sufficient though. There wasn't any sealant on them before. It does go round. See if that, look at that, I'll show you what I mean, right? On the back of those holes, the sealant goes above them. But like I say, I don't think that had actually failed yet, but I could put a little bit of tape above those holes just to make sure nothing's getting past it. So let's just do that. Hold on. There. Not the neatest job, it doesn't have to be. Right, let's see now. We'll just peel all this off and see if this makes a nice constant seal. And that should be us with that, because the rest of it, I've checked all the rest of it, there's no water ingress anywhere else, it just simply is down the bottom here. And this little door seal is in pretty good condition. Let's get the backing tape off and then we'll press it all down. Okay, so there we have it. Nicely sealed, nothing underneath there, no way of getting in there. And you can hear the old kind of butyl trying to stick and then popping off if I press it here. But the new 3M tape is solid all the way along to here. So the only way of testing this now is to go and stick it outside and stick a hose on this and see if anything leaks through. But what we'll do is we'll do the driver's door first and we'll test them both at the same time. But I think, pretty certain that's going to solve it, because that is exactly where the water was coming to here. Just where my finger is in the door card, right next to this push fit clip here. and it was soaking the carpet, so I'm pretty convinced that is going to do the job. Excellent. You remember where these go? That one there. There's the big one. There's the big one. There he is. He goes in there. He should go in there. Why did he not get in? Nah, we'll move this around. There we go. Cool. So that's that. So put all the panels back on, and we'll go and get the car shifted into the driver's side. Cool. There we are. Good as new. Wouldn't even know I've been there. And just a note, whilst I've been here, I had the top kind of halfway up and checked these drains out, and the front ones were still all good. The car hasn't been sitting outside. It's been in the garage. No way of leaves getting in there. So if you've got a leak and it's kind of coming from this area here, check what I've just checked. Okay, so now it's time to do the same on the driver's side. And just before I take this apart, I just thought I'd show you something. So the driver's door has got a couple of wee drips coming from it, but you can tell why. Look, you see that? That's the same membrane that's poking out underneath the driver's door card, which suggests that the seal or the adhesive that they use has failed at that point, and that's why we're getting a little bit of moisture resting on here. So if I feel that with my hand, it is a little bit damp there. So let's take the driver's door off and do exactly the same process and see what's going on. Yeah, so it's pretty obvious where this one's been leaking from, because you can feel the dampness right there. So it's secure up until about nowhere. So I think we'll just put some tape along the entire row here. When you look inside, there's no water sitting in there. Wait, I'll get the light, hold on. See, it's dry in there. There's nothing sitting in there, thankfully. And it looks as if the water's draining out the drain hole, which is along at the other side there. So, yep, we're okay. It's just been simply probably getting down the back of this here, going down the back and then dripping out the lower edge here, which is fine because we can sort it, no problem. So same again, big strip of 3M tape all the way along and we'll be good to go. Excellent. Right, there we are. Nice neat seam all the way around. It's taken all the way around to here and it's solid at this corner, so we're good there. But a wee bit extra at the above where the fittings go in just in case. And that should be it, good to go. This one was not as good as the passenger door. Some of the sealant was completely gone. So I'll take some of this off with your nail and stuff, but it's old sealant, so it's going to do that. But that's really all that's causing the water to get in, because it goes down the back of this here and it will drip. If it comes down here, it will drip down here and into the car, so that's what's been causing it. Let's seal this little bad boy up and put it back together. And there we have it. And as you can see at the bottom here, there's now no glue or sealant or tape keeking out right at the bit where the water was coming out. That's where the tape had failed. We'll fix that, so we are good to go. And that's it, job done. Ta-da! So, there we have it, another Porsche Boxster job done. If you haven't seen the rest of the videos that we've done on this, go and look at my channel. There's a whole rake of videos and jobs that we've done when we bought it, when we had a failure before we even got to the MOT station, and then the MOT itself and what we had to do before we had to take it for its MOT test. So hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thank you again for watching, and bye bye.